Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Yes, friends, it's me again, and this time we're going to be discussing some theories on the location of the mythical city thing of Atlantis. There's a whole lot of them, and they vary so much that I knew I just had to cover them. Disclaimer, yes, before we get into this, I know that Atlantis has a very high chance of not existing. I'm not sick, these are just some theories that I found, just wanted to share them. Starting off strong in southern Europe is the Greek island of Crete. Now, there's upwards of 100+ theories of where Atlantis is, some varying all the way from Italy and Cyprus to the US and Antarctica, just really anywhere people can put their finger on the map. But here's some more historical ones that I've picked out for you. So, for reference, Crete's size is about 160 miles long, which is about how long Washington state is wide. So from around 3000 BC to around 1500 BC, there is a civilization on Crete called the Minoans, who built very impressive housing for the time, and in general they were very advanced, so seal of approval for them. Like I said, they were very efficient for their era, pioneering studying and piping and sturdy houses and shipmaking and whatnot. But then they disappeared all of a sudden, likely due to a large volcanic eruption that took all their hard work and plunged it into the watery depths. See? Very Atlantis-like. Futuristic civilization wiped out and sank into the sea. Northern Europe, who knew? So you may know Northern Europe looking like this now, with Britain, Ireland, France, Germany, etc. However, the whole crew didn't used to look like this. In fact, it looked much different. It had far more land like this. Sea level, yada yada yada, you know, the usual. It was a landmass called Doggerland, and yes, it was home to lots of different groups of people who settled down there and started their new tribal, soon-to-be British life. 8,000 years ago, however, this utopia came to an end when a massive underwater landslide in Norway struck the sea near Doggerland, causing giant tsunamis which sunk a great deal of Doggerland underwater, leaving us now with only good old Europe. In and of itself, however, Europe is pretty low elevation, so it sank pretty easily when the water covered it. The Atlantis part comes in here because many tribes in Doggerland were considerably better off than other European tribes, leaving behind some fun archaeological treasures like unusually high-crafted arrowheads, busts of people's heads, and more. Plus, mammoths were usually found in the area, so it's not a stretch to think of people in the area attacking them and using them as resourcefully as possible. Next up is Mauritania, a large West African country almost entirely within the Sahara Desert. Within the heart of the country, however, is a geological rock formation very big in size called the Eye of the Sahara. Keep in mind that Mauritania is almost entirely sand dunes and desert, specifically around 80 to 90%, so how Atlantis got here is a bit of a stretch, but it almost works out. A crude sketch of the eye would be this. Lengthwise, it's around 25 miles. Every once in a while during a flood, however, fish and whale bones wash up from deep beneath the sands. Now, how are marine creatures being found in a desert? Desert hot sand, not water. I don't get it. Low elevation, close to the ocean, almost as if it was quickly covered with an ocean at one point. According to many Greek philosophers, back in the old times, Atlantis was a city made of concentric rings separating each other by water and covered with buildings, similar to the concentric circular rock patterns found in the Eye of the Sahara. But then Poseidon saw that they were having too many goofs and magically destroyed the city with a massive oceanic flood, smothering both the land and city with deep water. Now, how is this possible? Well, luckily geology can save us. Topographically speaking, the land around the formation is very low and narrow, and allowing the water to come in because of the low elevation can basically let the ocean quickly funnel in, almost as if a great wave of water shot through the land and left behind a low elevation trail. What's even more interesting, though, is is that Mauritania wasn't completely unknown to people. At many times in the past, there were many maps that people drew where people could venture decent into the Sahara, so knowing about the area around the Eye of the Sahara in Mauritania wouldn't be that far of a stretch. Let's move on to some of the more goofy theories. The Azores are a group of islands in the Atlantic Ocean in the middle of nowhere owned by Portugal. Some people have said that they are the remaining tops of Atlantis' mountains, but frankly that's a poor idea because they have a land area of around 900 square miles. So unless Atlantis was a city with the same land area as Luxembourg, I think it's safe to say the Azores can be crossed off the list. Denmark was another one, but this one was pretty vague. Apparently Atlantis was somewhere along Denmark's eastern coast, which seems normal until you realize that it could be anywhere in here. Too vague, 2 out of 10, too much land to cover. Finally, get ready for this. The North Pole, the same one where Santa lives. An ancient advanced race of humans lived here, therefore Atlantis. Also, apparently the Garden of Eden was up here too, so I guess Adam and Eve were just kind of bumming around all this time. Well, that's it for this time, friends. Have a good day, everyone. I took a little break, but now that I'm back, and I made a really good video, I think. I mean, it wasn't really good, but it was fun to make, though, which makes it really good, mentally. So, anyways, so the point is, I'm gonna start making more videos soon, and hopefully they won't be as terrible.